Well, thanks for listening. We're Ray and Karen, the Morning Misfits, talking with WWE Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens in town tonight. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Now, let's talk tonight. Obviously, that's what we always want to talk about right out of the gate. WWE SmackDown is tonight at US Bank Arena, correct?
That's right. It's 7 o'clock. Doors are 5:30, and tickets are still available.
So this is the road to WrestleMania. And last night, of course, you guys were in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
So you just drove all night, I'm assuming, and you've been doing this all morning.
Yes.
Yeah, so tonight's going to be fun. I'm hoping you get a nap.
Yeah, I might get an hour or two if I'm lucky before the show, but,
Yeah.
if anything, whoever's in the ring with me tonight is going to suffer my wrath for
Being tired.
not sleeping, being grumpy, and it's going to make things even worse. So.
Yeah.
You're going to poke the sleeping bear,
There you
if you
go.
will. That's one thing, like, when we heard that you were coming in, this has been a couple months now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm terrified. You frighten me,
know.
sir. Like we had New Day in last time. We've had the Usos in, and they're pretty fun-loving guys. But the other two times are you and Dean Ambrose, and the two of you really make me nervous.
I don't know. If I were you, I'd be terrified of Big E's gyrations. I don't know me, but
Not to brag, I do a pretty pitch-perfect impression of the Big
He
E
does.
dance.
I will dance.
now I'm terrified.
Yeah.
What brings it out of me is having those ropes, being in between those ropes. So you're safe now. I don't usually get very mean inside of a studio. So.
we
That's
saw
good.
it. We saw you on TV this morning. You just seem so nice. And then when I watch you on TV, I'm like curled up in a corner, just shaking.
You just wait for that, you leave it all in the ring. I like
Exactly.
it.
Anybody in particular you have your sights set on tonight for your rap?
Anybody, it's open season. I'll be glad to take it out on anyone who wants to try and, whether it's try to take my title or, just piss me off and see how that works out for them.
Well, I know you've got your old buddy Sami Zayn has been popping up. I wonder, what's that like working with somebody who's been that close to you for so many years?
I mean, in a way, it's very, validating, I guess, because we both started, not exactly started together, but we both, met 13 years ago as we were both trying to, get noticed and get, more popular, especially in the United States, because we both felt like, as we were wrestling in Canada and Quebec and, trying to get our name out there, that, wrestling in the United States was the way to make noise and eventually get noticed by WWE and hopefully get to wrestle there one day. And we kind of did that together, not even through no choice of our own, if you will. We were just kind of paired up together from the start. Various wrestling promotions, independent promotions would just, kind of group us together, me and him, and we'd do the shows together. We'd be partners. We'd be, rivals, and we really made our way here together. So it's kind of special, but it's really annoying at the same time because he's a pretty aggravating person in general. So
it is kind of tough to work with a best friend at times.
Honestly, I've said before that it's more like we're brothers, and you don't always choose your brother, so you don't always love your brother. I guess right now we're in the fighting part of our relationship. Which...
Karen and I often explain our relationship as the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn dynamic.
Yeah, obviously I'm the...
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I hope you're Kevin Owens.
Yeah. Well, he thinks I'm just meaner than him, so therefore I get you by default, which is fine.
I like to consider myself to be a bit of a delight.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A bit of a delight, okay.
I could totally see Sami Zayn reference himself as a delight as well, so it seems like... Yeah.
You mentioned growing up in Canada, and I've learned this before, that English is not your first language,
It's not,
correct?
No, French is,
So, like, JR basically taught you English, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember when I was in 4th grade and was already a huge wrestling fan, and at lunchtime we'd do this little trivia, activity, and the question was, can you say, in French, obviously the question was, what's the word for elbow in English? And I realized that when Vader would drop an elbow on his opponent, Jim Ross would say elbow. So I just raised my hand and said, elbow? And they said, yeah. I'm like, oh, I think I'm starting to learn English from wrestling. So that's where, yeah.
Pretty much
educational and entertaining.
Pretty much.
all the Spanish I've learned
The thing
is
is-
from Lucha Libre.
Right, there you go. The only problem is I because of Jim Ross, I thought like slobber knocker was part of
The word,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a legit thing.
So
Yeah.
that made
By God.
a lot of my friends laugh when I started like training for wrestling, and I would train with guys that spoke English, and
Yeah.
I would say that to them, and they just I didn't understand why they thought it was so funny, but I figured it out pretty quick.
We briefly mentioned Road to WrestleMania. You got your WrestleMania shirt on. Let's talk a little bit. This is going to be your first WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done a lot in the short amount of time you've been on TV at WWE.
Yeah, you know, it took me 15 years to get to WWE, but I
Yeah.
feel like I almost caught up, all that lost time, because in 9 months I've, it sounds very arrogant to say, but I say it with all the humility in the world. Like in the 9-10 months I've been in WWE on the main roster, I feel like I've experienced things that some guys don't, that have been there for 6-7 years don't necessarily get to experience. I'm very lucky and very appreciative of that.
That's awesome. Well, good luck on your first WrestleMania.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And now we like to get to the silly portion of the interview.
All right.
So we like to do a little what we call the lightning round.
Okay.
We shoot you a bunch of rapid fire fill in the blank questions.
All right.
I'll kick us off, Karen.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. If I could, I know you have a kid.
I do.
You
Two.
You have two kids. You mention them all the time in your interviews. But if I could take one thing away from my kid for my own sanity, it would be
His iPad. He gets really intense with the Minecraft building. Like, if something doesn't work his way, we hear it. He could be in his bedroom, we'll be in the living room, and we'll know about it. So, sometimes I feel like the iPad should probably just go away.
maybe take it down a notch.
Yeah. All right, next one. I instantly turn off the TV when I see...
Oh, Sami Zayn.
The one thing in my luggage I can't live without is...
My iPad?
What are you playing on your iPad, or what are you?
Actually, so we travel a lot for what we do, and for some reason, the show The Office just just reminds me of home, and just I have this homey feeling when I watch it. So whenever I'm anywhere not at an arena, I'm watching The Office on my iPad. So that's what it is. It's just a sense of home, I guess, away from home.
There
Yeah,
you
if you
go.
travel that much, you need it.
Yes.
The most annoying thing my coworkers do is...
Or Sami Zayn.
Well, yeah, take your pick.
Being Sami Zayn. That's the answer I was gonna say.
All right.
We were talking about this earlier today, talking about products we regret buying. Looking back on it now, I really wish I hadn't bought.
That's a good one. Winter boots, because I don't wear them. I bought them for the first time this year. I live in Canada. You'd think I need them.
You might need
Yeah,
them, yeah.
yeah.
But I never, I don't even own a winter coat, because I hate having to put on a coat. Then, I'm outside for 30 seconds while I get in the car, and then in the car I get hot, so I have to take the coat off. So, I felt like at least I'll get some boots so my feet don't get wet, but then it's the same ordeal. Like, I hate having to put on boots, because I like to be able to just, if I decide to go, I just want to slip my shoes on, get out. When I come back, I just want to take them off. I don't want to have to, undo laces. I guess, I don't know, I guess I'm lazy that way.
Now looking at you don't have laces on right now.
No, those dress shoes are perfect for that.
There you go.
All right, no matter how much you offered, you couldn't pay me to what?
Watch Sami Zayn wrestle.
Unless it's against you, I suppose. If you're
Absolutely.
really out of the loop when people talk about...
Anything sports related. I like the guys in the locker room talk about football all the time, and I know Dan Marino because he was in Ace Ventura. And that's
Laces out.
That's about it. Yeah.
Scoring even more points with me, because that's how I feel about sports too.
There you go.
The one thing I'd lie to get out of doing is what?
Mowing the lawn, I used to lie a lot about. But my parents would ask me to mow the lawn, and I would make things up that they clearly knew weren't true,
Yeah.
because I have to go build a spaceship, and just not good lies. Just to try to really
It's a terrible lies.
express to them how badly I don't want to mow the lawn. Thankfully, I don't have a lawn right now. I live in Montreal, where there is no lawn
No
anywhere,
lawn to mow.
so it's not to worry.
If the show Hoarders came by unannounced today, they'd say I have way too many...
They'd probably just say I have way too many of my son's toys. He's got everything he wants. So, his room kind of looks like a hoard of just various toys. But they'd probably also say that I've got Hoarders DVDs quite a bit, because I love that show.
You love the show?
You're hoarding hoarders?
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty impressive,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
That is.
That's like Inception of Hoarders.
All right, my favorite one. If I could tell my boss one thing and not get fired, it would be what?
The Usos declined to comment.
I gotta think about it, but I'm never gonna play.
Dean asked for a raise, I think.
The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Oh, there we go. Oh.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Well, Kevin Owens, we appreciate you coming in. SmackDown at US Bank Arena tonight. Doors again at 5:30.
That's right.
Yep,
All right. We'll
tickets
see you
still
there tonight,
available.
man.
We'll see you tonight.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.